When creating games in Loquiz, you will always get the default username, default password, and default QR code to start your games. And all the players using these usernames and passwords will appear in the same results page as well. And for the basic use, this is perfectly all right. But if you want to sell single-use tickets, or if you want to have more control over who plays your games and when, then you might want to use ticketing. To generate the tickets for a specific game, we go to the tickets menu and we generate the tickets. First we choose the game, and I have only one game available here, that's easy to choose, and we define the username. Username doesn't have to be unique, so I'm gonna just use the dist one. Please note that you cannot define the password. The password will be given to you by the system because it needs to be unique. And then you need to think about the scope. And the way to think about the scope is this. The players or the tickets that have the same scope play together. They appear in the same results table. They share the same chat room. But if the scope is separate, then the result table would be separate, the chat would be separate, and also if the game has interactivity built in, so that one team or one player affects how other players are doing, then it will be defined within the scope. So default is that we generate unique scope for each ticket. That means that they play separately. And this is very useful, for example, when you are selling individual tickets. So you have a city tour, you want the people to experience your game, but they're actually playing alone, and you want also to send them maybe the result table that will only include their photos, their answers, their tracks, and everything like that. So at the moment I'm gonna leave that scope as a unique option as it is by default. Then you can set the validity, and validity basically means from what time to what time the ticket can be activated. And then also you define the number of tickets. You can put 100 here if you want to, but I'm just gonna use 2 to show how the tickets are generated. The generated tickets appear in the tickets table. So we have a game name here. We have a username that we set. We have a password that is unique. We have a scope that we said that we want the unique scope for each ticket. And we did not set the validity, so there's nothing here. It also shows you the ticket status, so if the ticket has been used or unused, and we have generated the results link for that specific game, for that specific ticket. So if we click on the results link, you can see that we are taken to the results table, but this is not the general results table for the game. You can see that there is a scope behind the game ID. And that means that it only contains the data from this one player. It is very useful if you are selling individual tickets and maybe there are photos made, maybe there is a track recorded, and you can actually share that link afterwards so that the players or the ticket holder can see how they did, and they only will see their own results. They will not see anybody else's results. So that is kept separate. Most probably you will create hundreds of tickets instead of only few tickets, and for that you need a way to include them into your outside systems. So in order to get to the export function, you need to filter out the specific tickets. There are very strong filtering options that you can basically deploy, and that will filter you specific tickets that you can then export. And I click export CSV. And this will take us to the export page that works basically so that we start the export, preparing the export for you, and when we are ready, we'll send the email. It should arrive in few minutes, so go and check your email box after you have clicked export. I received the email and I downloaded the CSV file, so I will open it. And I'm just gonna import it into LibreOffice, and let's check what we have here in the LibreOffice. So we have the same data that we had in the ticket table, but there are something that is added to that. The most important thing that is extra in the export is the QR code. And this is the string that should go into the QR code. So if you have a online system that is selling tickets and it's generating QRs, so that can be used there. And also it includes the results link that has the specific scope already to that ticket, so that you can include the results link in your communication with the client, and if it's automatic, you can automatically include it there as well. Of course, all the import and in what exact format the data needs to be for the import depends on the system you are using. So we have covered generating tickets, we have covered the scope, we have covered the export, and for that you need to apply the filters. And maybe one important point to note here is also how the tickets are counted in Loquiz. And it is following exactly the same way as it is with the default players. So we only count the players or the teams when they actually play. So even if you generate the tickets, you distribute the tickets, even if you sell the tickets, we only count the players when the players actually start the tickets and start playing. So it's actually quite easy way for you to try out if the ticket sales is for you and if it helps your business. Thanks.